Someone always wants to punch me in the face, and Mac's always there to help. Welcome back to the Reacts channel, and today we're going to be reacting to the 12 most dangerous islands in the world that you...
What? Me?
That's right, you!
I'll tell you what. I was going to say the most dangerous place I've visited, but no, it's just hanging about with you.
100%.
Don't matter where we are. Jesus.
Someone always wants to punch me in the face, and Mac's always there to help.
I wonder why.
Find out in 12 most dangerous islands you never want to visit.
Number 12.
Farallon Islands. 20 miles west of San Francisco. Since
I was gonna say, like basically LA.
They have earned the moniker, the Devil's Teeth. But this may no longer be a name based only in appearance. Because of the island's potential danger...
Because there's a devil!
Smash that like button and subscribe right now.
One of the largest seabird colonies in the United States. Although you can still catch intrepid skin divers sneaking onto the islands,
I was gonna say, I mean,
adamantly warns anyone that they do so at their own
little
risk.
rats with wings.
While you might be able to avoid the dozens of great white sharks that roam the area, feeding off the Farallon's large population of elephant seals, the real danger is one you won't be able to punch in the nose. Throughout the middle of the 20th century, were used for the disposal of radioactive materials. There are almost 50,000 drums full of nuclear waste throughout the area.
Holy shit.
And with numbers
So it's basically just a waste island.
Are an inevitable certainty.
Of rubbish.
Number 11.
Reunion Island. West of the African island of Madagascar,
That's a big tree.
in the Indian Ocean, sits Reunion Island, a small yet busy island that is covered by rainforests, rivers, and breathtaking waterfalls. Though it is over 5,500 miles away from France, the island is still governed by French law, and because it is less of a hassle than traveling to island destinations where passports may be required, it has become a popular vacation destination for French citizens. Because of this, the island is one of the most modern islands in terms of sanitation and transportation. It could be easy to get carried away daydreaming about visiting Reunion because of its beautiful villages and relative isolation from the outside world. But tourists must be prepared for the terrifying realities of this pristine locale. First off, it is home to one of the most active volcanoes in all of the world, which was a popular hiking destination for tourists until it was deemed too dangerous to traverse. The island also has the distinction of being one of the leading islands in terms of annual rainfall in the entire world, and is often
pretty terrifying.
Tropical cyclones.
They've never been to Britain.
Reunion is known for having one of the largest and most vicious populations of sharks encircling it. The shark attacks have become so bad that the French government has forbidden surfing around the island. Despite this, there are still around half a dozen people who meet their demise every year from shark attacks.
Number 10.
That's not a lot,
Danger
really,
Island. South of Maldives, in the western part of the Indian Ocean, lies the Chagos Archipelago. Most significantly, it is the home of two rare birds with fun names to say: brown noddies and red-footed boobies. The island isn't actually as dangerous to modern-day adventurers as its name suggests. The name is merely a holdover from ye olden times, as when it was first mapped in the 19th century, seafarers found the coral reef and rocky shoals that surrounded it too treacherous to anchor their ships. Even with modern transportation, the island is incredibly difficult to get to and navigate without risking damage. If you were to end up grounded or wrecked near Danger Island, you would find yourself utterly isolated from the world and would be especially in trouble if you were allergic to coconuts.
Number 9.
Tristan da Cunha.
Yeah, kill off everyone with no allergies anyway. They're the weak.
The British territory known as Tristan da Cunha. Visiting this grassy circle-shaped island that measures only 8 miles across can be incredibly daunting, as the only way to reach it is by traveling 7 days by boat. Because of this, it once had the distinction of being the most isolated, yet still inhabited place on Earth. That was, until the volcano that formed the island had enough of being host to humans and erupted in 1961, causing widespread devastation. Luckily, Because there were only a few inhabitants to begin with.
Yeah, no running from that.
The British were able to successfully relocate everyone to England before they could be wiped out. Slowly, people have returned. The island is now home to 270 locals who live life off the grid and farm to make ends meet, all the while trying to forget that the volcano may evict them at a moment's notice.
Number 8.
Bikini Atoll.
They can't just
The Marshall Islands are a series of atolls and islands that lie east of Guam, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. The most famous of these islands is that of Bikini Atoll, which, although small, helped shape history. What was once a beautiful tropical locale is now a radioactive wasteland, as Bikini Atoll was one of the main sites at which the United States military tested nuclear weapons. Though the island had a small indigenous population, they were all relocated to a nearby island in 1946, before testing commenced. The island has remained abandoned to this day, aside from researchers studying the effects of radioactivity.
Number 7.
Hashima Island. If you head out to sea, traveling west from Nagasaki, Japan, you will come across what appears to be a floating fortress. This is the island of Hashima, aptly known by the nickname Battleship Island. Hashima was once one of the main sources of fuel for the Japanese military during World War II. The island was home to a coal mine, and because of the sheer amount of workers, the majority of which being Korean and Chinese POWs and enslaved civilians, it was at one point the most densely populated place on Earth.
A prisoner of war.
However, a few years after the war, the Japanese eschewed coal for oil, and the mine was abandoned. Because there is no one to manage the giant housing buildings and other complexes, they have fallen into severe disrepair, and nature is slowly taking back the island. This has made the island extremely dangerous to traverse.
I don't know what you're saying though.
As the buildings and seawalls built to hold back vicious tsunami waves are crumbling all around. It is also believed that there may be unrecovered naval mines in the surrounding water.
Number 6.
Bear Island. Between the Arctic island of Svalbard and mainland Norway lies Bear Island. The island, with an area just over 110 square miles, was once considered a vital position for naval reconnaissance, but now only hosts little more than a weather station and a few abandoned houses. The entire island is declared by the Norwegian government, but there really isn't much nature to find, as it is largely devoid of plant and animal life, aside from moss, seabirds, and fish. It is believed that much of this is due to toxic contaminants that have found their way to the island via air currents that waft pollution from industrial countries like the United States and England, which border the Atlantic. But the true danger of Bear Island comes from another form of pollution. In 1989, a Soviet nuclear submarine crashed just south of the island, resulting in much of the water surrounding the island having been possibly contaminated with radioactive waste. Then, in 2009, a Russian transport carrying upwards of 15,000 gallons of oil rammed into the island, becoming lodged. Much of the oil leaked into the sea, causing large numbers of the island's seabird population to perish, and only adding to the man-made destruction haunting the island. The pollution, combined with the desert-like terrain which averages nearly 0 inches of rainfall a year, and the steep, sharp cliffs that make up Bear Island, makes this one place you can cross off your list of potential vacation destinations.
So basically, everywhere that we've seen now is just radioactive.
If you are willing to brave the rocky
Why'd they call it Bear Island with no bears there?
St. Martin to SABA,
because it's very bare.
Island of the Dutch Antilles, you will be graced with the
B-A-R-E.
a place that looks trapped in the ancient past. Upon arrival, you will find a village nestled upon a volcano that is full of vibrant atmosphere, with live music, family-owned restaurants featuring fresh-caught cuisine, and plenty of outdoor activities like scuba diving and hiking. But all this comes at a cost. One might say that the locals have become such experts at having a good time because they know at any moment it could all be destroyed. Tourists have been known to call it the unspoiled Queen of the Caribbean, but it could be more accurately described as Hurricane Island. Because of its location right in the Atlantic's Hurricane Alley, the island has been noted for being hit by the most hurricanes of any island on Earth. Despite the constant attacks that Mother Nature brings down upon SABA, its people still find a way to survive and rebuild time and time again.
Number 4.
Yeah, it'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Just see what's going on.
The tiny 80-foot wide island known as ROCKALL, which lies nearly 300 miles off of Scotland's western shore, it has made its way into Irish and Scottish legends as well as popular culture through music, books, and television. People have
Is it a rock?
with its simple yet powerful structure.
It's just a big old
with
rock.
some
It's just a big rock.
Going
Like...
as far to name it the location where the apocalypse will begin. The real-life danger is in the fact that the island itself is essentially a large granite rock sticking out of the ocean. The remnants.
It's not an island.
Volcano. Because of its steep
Just a rock.
incline on all sides, there is really only one place for a person to stand: the peak, which you can only get to if you are a skilled rock climber.
Then it's not an island. Nah, not even that.
Climbing the relatively short summit of 65 feet, as the island is smack dab in the part of the ocean which
65
boasts
feet, not an
waves
island.
reaching upwards of 100 feet. Despite there being no natural value to the island, other than its looks, Rockall was
That
considered
bird
an
shit on
extremely
top, though.
important strategic
Yeah,
location
it's either
by
bed
the
shit or
Netherlands,
snow.
who claimed the
And it's
island
probably
in
not
fear of
snow.
falling into the
It's not
hands of
snow.
the USSR and being used to house a missile silo. Britain's claim to the island also has the
Imagine you're there, you
historical
just climbed up it for some
distinction
reason.
of being their last modern day.
Number 3.
Gruinard Island. Gruinard Island is another one of Scotland's treacherous isles, but it owes its place on our list for a man-made danger. This hauntingly bleak-looking island was once home to some of the most extreme biological weapons testing of the 20th century. The British Army peppered and doused the islands hundreds of times with weapons like chlorine gas and anthrax. The anthrax in particular
Why?
had a permanent effect on Gruinard, as it soured the soil and decimated the entire indigenous animal population.
Because we're
The island
wankers,
remains a
mate,
wasteland,
that's why.
and only sanctioned government researchers are allowed to visit it.
I'm blaming
And they must wear
manufacture.
hazmat suits from the moment they step on the island until they leave. Any attempt by non-military personnel to land on the island is strictly prohibited, and even if it wasn't, you probably shouldn't go there anyway, as you wouldn't survive very long.
Number 2.
Miyake-jima. The Izu island chain that juts from Japan's southeastern coast is made up of a string of volcanoes, all of which are currently active. In the last century alone, nearly 200 people have perished due to major eruptions. The most major of
Could be
these
a
was in
good stag
2000,
do.
when Mount Oyama, the biggest volcano on the
Alright,
island,
that looks cool.
blew its
Wow.
top, Oyama, which looms over several small villages, occupied by a few thousand people, spewed lava and lethal amounts of sulfuric gas upon the island for 4 straight years. While some decided to pack up and move,
Jeez.
a vast majority of the population stayed. Up until 2005, much of the island was restricted, and the people of Miyake-jima were forced to stay inside with their doors sealed, only traveling outside in their gas masks if absolutely necessary. Nowadays, the people have
fuck?
returned to work and adapted to life next to this fiery giant by
Like
closely
COVID.
monitoring the gas levels and keeping gas masks handy
Can relate
in
to
case
that.
the levels become excessive. Tourists are even welcomed now, as commercial flights were allowed to start back up in 2008. But if you do visit, you better come prepared and expect to feel like you are on another, much more dangerous planet.
Number 1.
Oh.
Just off the coast of Myanmar, in the Indian Ocean.
Well,
is
fucking
RAMREE.
Myanmar's a dangerous place,
At
full
a
stop.
distance, the island looks like the perfect place for a relaxing vacation. But if you were to travel inland, you'd most likely have an experience akin to a Jurassic nightmare, and probably end up in the belly of one of the world's oldest surviving species. RAMREE is unique because it is home to the largest consolidated basque of saltwater crocodiles. In World War II, after being defeated by the British in a battle on the island, the Japanese army retreated through RAMREE's swamplands, and over 400 soldiers were gobbled up by the nasty crocs. To this day, the onslaught that the Japanese faced in the form of these 2,000-pound reptiles remains the event with the largest loss of human life due to animals. If you had to choose one of these islands for your next vacation, which one would you choose?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe number 10 because it's least dangerous.
Maybe just that rock. I didn't agree with that list of islands though. There's 2 off the top of my head that I can think of.
Which
There's that
are?
one where there's that one that's like on the coast of Japan or something, where there's like a tribe of primitive like humans there. And like they'll kill anybody that comes near. Like they're in a helicopter and start fucking throwing spears at it. They brought a guy inland and like butchered him and stuff. And then there's that one, Snake Island.
Snake Island.
It's like something like every square foot there's a snake or something. Not a chance of getting me to Snake Island.
Oh, the same channel did a full episode just on Snake Island, and they called it the most dangerous place on Earth. Alright, but anyway, that's it for today's episode of Reacts. Let us know if you enjoyed it. Remember to like, subscribe, and follow. Hit that bell to get all the notifications. And we'll see you in the next one.
Yes, we will.